Earnhardt has won 8 times at the track Too Tough to Tame. He also comes into Sunday's race as its defending champion.
Well, it's one of my favorite racetracks. Really, we won a lot of races here, but it's always, I think, easier if you can run a race before the race. And this Busch Grand National race, it gives me the opportunity to get some time in on the track.
He'll definitely have enough track time to go along with BGN and Winston Cup. Earnhardt will again compete in the IROC race. Could quite possibly pull a clean sweep.
Well, that'd be neat, but it's a lot of hard work, and you got to really have everything in order. Hopefully we will.
Darlington, it's known as the track Too Tough to Tame. You know, this place is intimidating to a lot of the drivers out here, but not, of course, to the Intimidator himself.
Well, they've called it, they've named it everything in the world, Lady in Black, Too Tough to Tame, and everything else. But it is a racetrack you've got to respect. It is a very aggressive racetrack, and you've got to treat it with respect and race it hard.
Earnhardt's one to listen to. Only legendary driver David Pearson has won more races at Darlington than the man in black. Ken Slats, 15 Sports. The next few weeks is when everything seems to take shape. The big goal, get the Country Club of South Carolina in the best condition it has ever been in.
Right now we just cut the greens in the morning, then during the tournament itself we cut greens twice in the morning and once in the afternoon. So it's more intense really leading up to the tournament.
Bo and his crew have had the golf course all the years of the tournament, the Ben Hogan Tours and last year's Nike. It just seemed to be getting better and better, and he really deserves the credit.
In the past, around 10 to 12 under par meant victory or thereabouts. But this year, the Country Club of South Carolina has added something new. It's called thick rough and should make scores go up.
It's going to be real tough, a lot tougher than last year. You know, last year we didn't have rough. And this year we'll have a 3-inch rough, so it's going to put a premium on accuracy.
In the past, they've been able to cut off some yardage on a few holes by not being concerned with the rough. This year they're going to have to think twice and maybe play the golf course as it's laid out. So it definitely will have an impact on it. It's had an impact on my rounds here lately.
Might be a bit tough for the players, but for the fans, still an incredibly scenic course. In Florence, Ken Slats, 15 Sports. South Florence baseball is the best in the state. In fact, the Bruins are ranked 11th in the nation, according to USA Today.
We really don't feel there's any pressure about it. We've been the same group for the last 3 years now, and we feel we play well as a get together as a team, and not really much pressure added on to that.
I'm sure everybody always feels it a little bit that, we want to win and keep that type of recognition, but we're just going to go out and try to play the best we can and hope things fall our way this time.
Hartsville and South Florence met a few weeks back. The Red Foxes winning 1-0. This Friday's matchup should be no different. The Bruins are definitely gearing up for yet another classic confrontation.
It's a big rivalry between us and Hartsville. 20 years we've come to hate each other, really. So, we just got to go out and play good baseball, play good defense, hit the ball well, and hopefully we'll come out on top.
Yeah, there's a little bit of revenge there and a little bit of payback that we'd like to try to accomplish, but we know going into Kellytown that's a very hard place to play, and we're going to have to be at the top of our game to win.
At 15-1, the Bruins have been at the top of their game. Don't expect anything less tonight. Ken Slats, 15 Sports. The most popular event at the Country Club of South Carolina. It's the PGA-sanctioned Nike Tour, a big-time event with big-time expectations.
We want it to feel kind of magical, that when people walk out here next week, they see the Country Club of South Carolina kind of transformed into a very beautiful setting and a very comfortable setting to watch professional golf.
Qualifying for the Nike Tour is Monday at the Traces. Then it's on to a tournament at the same place. For some of those golfers, it's called the Hurricane Tour.
They followed the Nike Tour around because that helps them pick up players. And with us sponsoring one of the qualifying sites here, the players who do not make the Nike Tour event are able to turn around for the next 3 days and post an entry fee and then be able to play
Wait, there's still one more pro tourney in Florence. It's the Carolinas PGA Michael Thomas tradition, held at the Florence Country Club.
It's very competitive. You have your best players in both Carolinas, and certainly the Carolinas represent themselves well, and the club pros, there are plenty of good club pros in this area, as a lot of them have turned professional and play on the tour now.
So gear up for some good golf in Florence, May 2nd through the 8th. Ken Slats, 15 Sports. Last year at this time, it was Steve Tannehill's job to lose, but now it's a dogfight for the starting spot with Blake Williamson.
Now, the encouraging thing is that Blake got better and better and better, and I think that we're probably still in a position where both of them will push each other during two-a-days, but if I had to start tomorrow, it'd be Steve, but I'm not going to rule Blake out as a possible, quarterback for the fall.
Basically, the quarterback job's still up in the air. Tannehill was predicted as the future of Gamecock football after an incredible freshman year. Now he's a junior and maybe mature enough to be that future.
He's got to put a lot more into it than what he put into it last year, and because he didn't have all the answers. He played as a freshman and played very well toward the end of a season, and then all of a sudden turned around and there were high expectations for him, but I'm not sure that he put into it what he needed to put into it, and I think he realizes that maybe he may have learned a pretty good lesson there. So
I think what we're going to be looking for out of these young men is an opportunity for them to go in and execute the offense, and then also have the unique ability maybe to avoid pressure and be a gamer, and I saw that in Steve a little bit out there some in spring practice.
Reporting from Lake City, Ken Slats, 15 Sports. Pressure? Not according to Tommy West. After all, he's 1-0. But Ken Hatfield felt pressure after going 8-3 in '93.
I don't think it's a tough crowd to coach for. I think you're looking at a crowd that wants to win and expects to win. I've grown up all my life wanting to win and expecting to win. I've never been into a game that I didn't think we were going to win.
And the beginning of the West era is no different. For '94, the strengths and weaknesses are about the same as '93.
So far, Tommy West seems to know how to do exactly.
Overall, probably our defense is got to be a strength for us right now because we're experienced there. I mean, we've got people that have played on defense, so they're going to have to be better.
How much do you have to win to be accepted here?
Well, I don't think it comes down to that. I mean, I don't know that you put a number on how many games you got to win every year. We've inherited a team. This isn't my football team. We've inherited a football team and our job is to make this team the best we can possibly make it. Now, how good that is, I don't know.
Whoever's team it is, we'll find out how good the Tigers are in just 3.5 months. Ken Slats, 15 Sports. Unlike the past South Carolina Classic champions who went on to the PGA, Hugh Royer III is back, hopefully to add another title to his Nike Tour resume.
I got in my own way at the end of the year. I had a chance to get my card, and I didn't. But, you hope you learn from it. And it's just nice to be back in Florence. The people here are really fantastic to me and to my family. So, you don't mind.
May 2nd, 1993, Hugh Royer stood on the veranda here at the Country Club of South Carolina and accepted the trophy as Nike South Carolina Classic champion. Without a doubt, the biggest accomplishment in his young golf career.
To our new champion, Mr. Hugh Royer III.
Well, it was nice, living in South Carolina and kind of being a hometown person, even though I live 3 hours away. It was nice. I'd like to do it again. But, it's like I said, it's just nice to be back. When you come somewhere that you feel comfortable, you enjoy the golf course, you don't mind it at all.
Yeah!
Have you pictured it in your mind of standing up there again?
Oh, yeah. It goes through my mind every night.
And it's confidence like that which makes South Carolina proud of its defending champion. Ken Slats, 15 Sports. He's been a professional since 1977, but after 7 years as a club pro, it was time to get back on tour.
My wife and I both felt like I was supposed to be playing golf again, so I left the club, left the security of, a salary and that to come out and travel, and this is indeed what the Lord wanted us to do, and so it's been very good.
Yes, Bill and his wife have 8 children. All of them travel together from city to city.
I think it's very educational, seeing the different, geographical locations and their people skills for them to meet people. And I mean, we all enjoy it. It's not saying it's not hard, because it is hard.
Jennifer's my oldest at 13 and a half. Then we have Amy, she's 11. Then my son Bill, who's 10, followed me around today.
Then Laura, then Sarah, then David, then Joy, then Kathleen.
No, it's not the scenic golf course of the Country Club of South Carolina. It's the parking lot. And yes, it's the big van and home of golfer and father Bill Murchison.
We get 2 motel rooms every week, get connecting rooms, 2 double rooms, and it works out pretty well. It's not too bad. It's not probably near as bad as people think it would be.
It's fun, except I don't like sitting in the van, but I like in the hotels. I like it.
Getting up early, packing 10 suitcases, and we have a huge cooler we take in the room, but the overall rewards and enjoyment overtake the hardship.
Reporting from the Country Club of South Carolina, Ken Slats, 15 Sports. Susie Graham took home the championship in 1993. She's back in Camden to try and win that title once again.
This is a great lake to ski at. It's a man-made lake. It's designed especially for skiing, so you don't have any outside influences. The wind doesn't really get to the lake, and there's no other boats running around, so it makes it so it's just, you can just concentrate on your skiing out here.
Graham is no doubt the favorite, but each year the competition out here keeps getting tougher.
Women's slalom's real competitive right now. There's like about 5 girls that can win at any given time, and the men's too is getting where there's lots of the men are battling it out right at the top, and it switches around a lot, the top 4 positions.
And right around the top 4 on the men's side is South Carolina's Jeff Rogers. This is just his 3rd year on the Bud Tour.
It's nice. There's only, maybe 10 or 15 so skiers that have a chance of winning, and I feel like I'm one of them, and I think that's pretty neat.
What's neat is that Rogers has won here before, and he hopes to use this home state lake to his advantage.
I won my first pro stop here 2 years ago, and that was nice to do it here in front of my family and all my friends.
Reporting from Camden, Ken Slats, 15 Sports. Plenty of autographs, pictures, and yes, hugs. Kyle Petty, perhaps the flashiest NASCAR driver, spent the day shining as a star in Florence.
When I follow Richard Petty, then I always used to think about it. I will say that. But, I don't, it's not a big deal. My job's driving a race car. And to drive a race car, then Coca-Cola has to sell the product, and the product is Mellow Yellow. And if they don't sell the product, then I don't get to drive the race cars.
Promotional gigs like this one at Bilo are very important. Kyle Petty, of course, first and foremost is a race car driver, but just as important on his days off, he's here to push the product.
Sell Mellow Yellow. That's what I do on my days off. That's what I did yesterday and what I'm doing today. But really, it's just, we come down here to race, twice a year, I guess. So this is just a deal where you come back and say hey to everybody, I guess.
After today, it's back to racing. Kyle Petty's bid for a points championship is almost out of reach. Earnhardt and Irvin are well above the rest.
Where we're at to where they're at, you're not going to catch up in 2 races. You're not going to catch up in 10 races. It's going to take 15 or 20 races, and that's about all you've got left. So you got to make every race count. At the same time, you got to win some races, and that's what we're concentrating on right now. You figure if you go out and win races, that the points will come, and that's what we're looking for.
Points title or not, Kyle Petty is a Winston Cup success on and off the track. In Florence, Ken Slats, 15 Sports. Darlington's not the only track with major improvements. Check out the new garage area at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Well, I'll tell you what, they had a first-class facility before this, but this really adds to it. It's a dynamic place now, you know. I mean, it's got a great state-of-the-art garage area here for all the cars. You know, where I think NASCAR Winston Cup Racing should showcase its potential.
Although the garage area has changed, the track is pretty much the same. As for the race, still the longest on the Winston Cup circuit.
The main thing about Charlotte is it's 600 miles. It's a long race. You have to pace yourself. You can't wear the car out. You can't wear the tires out. You got to be around at the end. You know, that's the first thing. And then you go to racing when it gets down to the end of the race. If you can stay on the lead lap, you'll be all right.
Charlotte's a tough deal because the speeds are so high, the racetrack's rough. The weather changes a lot from what you practice in as far as qualifying. We should run respectively well here. I know we'll run well in our Winston Cup car. We should run real well in our Busch Grand National car.
No surprise that the man to beat is the man in black. Sunday, Dale Earnhardt will try to win his 3rd straight Coca-Cola 600. In Charlotte, Ken Slats, 15 Sports.